All right, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mikhail Casanova back at you with another video, and man, I guess I'm ruffling feathers with other content creators and people because I have decided to speak out on some bullshit that I've experienced growing up and experienced others tell me that because I'm a minority, I need to believe this. And it's something that once you decide you're not going to be on the Democratic plantation, you're not going to be a victim, you're going to take accountability for where you are in life, the things that have happened, that people want to come out of the woodwork and tell you that you're wrong, you don't speak for everyone, you've not been everywhere. And that systemic racism exists, even though systemic racism, by its definition, would require the law to systemically oppress those of color or certain ethnic groups, which there's no law on the books that validates that. And it's funny how the left, the people of the left, they want to attack your view when you say, hey, you know what? Systemic racism doesn't exist. Change my mind. And you pull like a Steven Crowder on them. And they want to they'll go it anyway and tell you how you're wrong, you're stupid, or better yet, like today, I got called Satanic. Oh my God, this dude was so angry with me. But it is really because I subscribe to this mentality of facts don't give one iota of a fuck about your feelings. The facts, the statistics, they don't lie. They are what they are. And it's just amazing how, I can bring up all kinds of things. And the main reason I talk about, I've been, talking about the black community mainly, apart from being part black, it's just things that I've seen and experienced growing up that just don't make sense. Like, why would you tell your child, like I know a lot to do, and, I see a lot of it in the Black Lives Matter stuff, and, stuff that one of my brothers is super deep in it. He talks about it too, where, your children can't do certain things because they're black and this, and this. And I'm like, damn, did we go in some type of dimensional warp time travel back to the 1960s and prior, before the civil rights movement? Because I'm sorry, if you got people like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Denzel Washington, you got all these athletes that get paid to throw a freaking ball, or dribble it, or shoot it, and they're making millions. The entertainment industry, the music industry, what is this? Is this like saying that they're the exception? So if this system is systemically racist to keep each and every one of us down, then how are there those of us who succeed? Like, how does that work? And the excuse I'm always given is, there's exceptions, or you can't speak for it because you're not everywhere. It's like, okay, well, maybe if you feel like you've been fired from jobs 2 or 3 consecutive times, or you haven't been able to do this or that, maybe it's an interpersonal thing and not a racist thing. Like, there's no legality. And this is not to say that there are some companies and people that may not uphold certain legal standards. I'm talking about on the books. Now, prejudice is, the people will be prejudiced. It's the nature of humans. There's always going to be someone who thinks they're better than someone else. That's always going to be there. That's a given. But this whole idea of that we're living in the most racist time ever in American history is just, it blows my mind that people actually think that. I'm like, okay. And then, going back on the point where I spoke about how, I said it on Twitter, and I always talk about, and it's not me trying to brag or anything, but for me to come from being poor, I've lived both aspects of life, both being very, having a rich upbringing and a poor upbringing, and being able to come from, the latter half of it, or a portion of it, being on the poor spectrum, and, knowing what it's like to be without food, without money, without electricity, being homeless, and deciding that, hey, I can either sit and dwell on this and make this my reality and be mad at someone else and blame someone else, or I can get off my ass and I can actually make the changes that I want to see and, better myself, educate myself, develop a skill set, and, make myself marketable, and, just work my way up and network and create opportunities, create residual income, and just make myself go up from there. And it's just amazing that you have people, that look at that like that's a bad thing. It's like this whole idea of the left and there's this socialistic mindset that if you want to be successful, or if you're part of the people that are doing well off, you're part of the problem. And like this one guy on Twitter, he likes to come at me all the time saying how, I'm arrogant and I'm this, I'm that, and, everything I'm saying is hate speech and it's satanic and all this other shit. And it's just like, all this because I said I don't view myself a victim. I take accountability for my failures and the poor choices I've made in life. That anything you do from birth up until 18, how you are by law, is not really on you. That's on your parents. And anything from 18 beyond is a personal choice that you make. I fail to see how that is hateful or how that's satanic. And then the guy, he backpedaled when I would ask him to provide an example. And this is something I always ask people from the left that decide they want to come at me with this. And and this is not to say I'm a combative person, because I'm not. But I would ask the question of can you is there, barring the insults and all the other shit, can you provide an example of systemic racism that you believe is going on in 2018 to back to a decade ago? Is there anything that's happening? And the thing is, people on the left and the super liberal people, they can never seem to come up with an answer. It's always emotion. It's emotion. It's whatever they can try and relate to, their own personal experiences. It's just, they can't come up with anything solid to validate their case. And it's amazing. It truly is amazing to me. Like, okay, so you got nothing. You got a nothing burger, but you're gonna keep saying systemic racism is a problem. People can't succeed because of a racist society. And then they want to hit you with America was never great. Okay, if America was never great, then why are you here? Why don't you go somewhere else? They don't want to hear that. They just, they want to just go with emotion. And then that's why I've actually come to this realization that people on the left, the liberal mindset, and I'm not saying all liberals, not the classical liberals, but these progressive liberals who like to throw this stuff at you. To me, I believe they're people who have failed in life. They failed in a lot of different aspects of their life. And instead of owning up to their failures and saying, hey, I didn't do that well, I could do better next time, or anything, they'd rather just blame, and it's always someone else's fault. And I think that's unfortunate, in my opinion. But that's what I got to say. Kel Casanova, I'm signing out. If you like what I got to say, cool. If you don't, fuck you and good night.